What's going on, guys? It is Carly here bringing you day 28 of my 31 Days of Horror 2021. And for today's review, I am actually going to be doing the final movie that I had to watch in the Universal Monsters box set. And that is going to be Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man from the year 1951. Now, admittedly, I watched this one and The Invisible Man's Revenge on the same night, and I think I kind of mixed up some of the plot stuff in it with, you know, they kind of do callbacks to the original Invisible Man. I don't think they actually did that in Revenge. I said in my review that they did, but, you know, my bad. They do it more so in this film, but anyway, this is, you know, kind of the middle film, I believe, because you had Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein from, I think, 48, and then the Mummy one was from 55. This one is from 51, and, you know, like I said, it's another Abbott and Costello film, so it's more comedy, slapstick comedy than horror, but essentially this one is, they have just graduated from, I guess, private detective college school, and got their degrees, and for their first sort of case, they are asked to help out this Tommy, who is a former boxer that was, you know, put in jail but got out because he was accused of murdering his manager, and he says it's not him, you know, he is innocent. So he wants to go, and he knows where he can get this invisibility serum, and he wants to get injected with it so he can basically snoop around and clear his name and find out who really, you know, murdered the manager. So he, you know, gets Abbott and Costello to kind of help him out, and it goes from there. Now, I definitely like this one a lot more than the one where they meet the mummy. I found it more entertaining. I think maybe because the Invisible Man's storyline is just a little more interesting than the mummy, so there's kind of, it's got that going for it. Abbott and Costello themselves, I actually found them to be pretty humorous in this film, more so than I did in the Mummy one. I know I kind of complained that the slapsticky humor didn't work for me too much, but in this one, they kind of had some funnier moments, you know, like when they're, even right at the beginning, they're graduating, and the one of them says they can't believe it, and the other one kind of says, oh, I slipped the, you know, professor $20, don't tell him, and just funny little stuff like that you have going on throughout this movie that I did find rather effective. And then you just have some cool scenes, you know, the Invisible Man, he gets himself invisible, and then he ends up getting the two of them in the back seat of this car, and he's driving, and then a cop comes up to them and is traumatized because he sees that the car is driving itself, and there's a big interrogation of the cop about that, and he's not making any sense, obviously. So there's a lot of just hokey stuff in this that I thought worked pretty well, especially dealing with the fact that you are dealing with an invisible person, so there's a lot of comedy that can be utilized with that, and you see that throughout the Invisible Man franchise anyway, just a lot of comedic moments, because when you're invisible you can mess with people and get away with it. So yeah, I definitely like this one. I thought it was solid, really entertaining, and the comedy definitely worked for me. Storyline was pretty good. Invisibility still looked good. You know, those effects never got cheapened, I don't think, throughout any of these movies, which I appreciate. They always use the same way of making the characters invisible, and it looks really, really good. So I actually gave this one a solid 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, guys, that'll do it for this review and all the Universal monster films in my cranium. You know, do they kind of run together for me at this point? Yes. Are there some that I don't really remember a lot? Definitely. But I can officially say I've watched them all, and I can put my box set on my shelf finally, so that is good for me, because, you know, I'm kind of OCD and have a rule where I don't actually put my movies on the shelf until I watch them. So finally can add it, and I am happy. So that'll do it for this review, guys. Thank you for joining me for day 28. We are almost done with this. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 29.